5:30, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order for the Downtown Development Authority. Can I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
I move the.
Sorry to interrupt.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, first on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting, the previous meeting. Can I do it for all of these at one time?
We probably need to do each of them individually.
So the first is for.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. So that was for April 24th.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
And then I need an approval for the amended minutes from April the 24th, 2019 and May the 6th, 2019 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the amended minutes from 4/24/19 and 5/6/19 minutes.
And I second.
All in favor?
I'd like to just briefly put on record, just so we have the understanding of why they were amended. There was a little, for the basis of clarity purposes for the public, a few of the two original minutes that we had included some kind of short form terminology and some items there just for general public understanding of, for clarity's sake, we just included full names of officers, directors, etc. So those are really the only changes to the previous minutes that were proposed prior to that point.
Okay. Next is discussion on suggested committee members from each committee chair and from general committee updates. My suggestion is maybe we discuss committee members, but we possibly go ahead and nominate and vote on board members. Do I have any feedback on that?
I've no problem.
Good.
I'm okay with that. It's fine.
Okay, so we had, I sent y'all all the applications we have for the DDA. For the board members, the only one we did not have an application for, but I did talk to him literally 10 minutes ago and begged, that
Wow.
is willing to be on the board is Jim Sisson. Jim Sisson has probably a more impressive resume than anybody that made application for the DDA. He's been involved in pretty much the economic development of this county since day one. And he
He had some previous involvement in the county school board too, which is one of the thoughts in my thought process in the last little bit as well. So he understands kind of the nature of what he's getting himself into, and I do think he's got a great long-term historical background in the community that I think would open up for keeping everybody's mindsets and options for, whether you're just a citizen, a business owner, et cetera. I think he covers a lot of that gambit and aspect. And
he had volunteered to be a committee member. He would not be a board member. But he has agreed that he would be willing to be a board member. Yeah. So
Do you think he'll stick with it?
Jim's not one that gives up on anything, so I hope so. I told him that we could just put him on a 2-year position, so that way he wouldn't be committed to it long term, and that way we can always keep him on and get his help. He's very tied to people in the community, so he's a great networker for us. So I think that we should go ahead, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and vote Jim Sisson as a board member to the DDA.
And it still has to be approved by the city.
Yeah,
City council.
we go ahead and vote on it, and then we just take it before the council to approve.
Next
Okay.
week.
Correct.
Before we get to that, I know there's been probably some other discussion about some other alternatives. I think maybe we should just open the floor up for that discussion, but I do think Jim would be a great fit if he's sounding willing to do that. For sure.
Okay. Do you want to discuss any of the other?
One that came to mind that I had a gentleman who is a restaurant owner in town. He is Brandon Lofton. He owns the Black Sheep. Has been working and running the Blue Ridge Brewery as well. I think he's moved here full time. He's here full time. He's been here for several years now. And I know he would like to. He's seen a lot of the changes and growth. He's expressed to me, and if he could provide any value or provide any assistance in continuing to to grow the develop in this community in a smart way, keeping in mind all, he mentioned kind of all the ideals that brought him to this community to begin with. He would very much like to get on board and would be committed to the task and requirements. That was actually one of my recommendations for sure today, because he's actually stayed on top of it. He's followed up on his own accord to see, hey, if y'all had an opportunity to discuss this yet, and I told him it was a little bit of a slower process than some of us would like, but I do think he would be a valuable asset to the board, and I do believe he understands the timing and commitment requirements that would be included with that. I also think in light of I know our former chairman, Michelle Moran, she was also geared into the restaurant industry and had a lot of ties to that aspect of the community. And I think that would be a very valuable placeholder from something we've lost through her resignation that I think would be a benefit to fill that void that I think would be important to the board as well.
And the other applicants, let me say this, I think the other applicants certainly have some strong benefits. I think based on work schedule, just different things, I think we maybe can have them as some committee members. But honestly, my personal opinion is I think Brandon and Jim are probably the two local, the most easily accessible, that probably make the most suited board members, in my opinion. Sure, yeah, I'll make a motion that we appoint Brandon Lofton and Jim Sisson to the two vacant seats on the DDA board.
I'll second.
What would be Brandon's term? Do we know that off?
He's the other.
You have to look at the two terms that you're filling.
Right. So I know we got a 2-year term.
One was 2, one was 4, I think.
So I would put Jim Simpson 2. They can always resign. That seems to be But that's right.
Is that a decision for us to make, or is that a decision for the city council?
We go ahead and make it.
We make it, the
Approval
city
from them.
council approves it, or not.
I mean, that's a long term for,
It's only a 2 or 4 year term. 2. No. Who is 6? Yeah.
And
what, I'm sorry?
6 years.
Can you double check that's
Yeah,
before
let's definitely make I think clearly in response to what we've discussed with Jim, I think if the 2-year term is available, it would need to default to him. But I think we can definitely touch base to confirm that we don't have to, that we're responsible to set those term limits. But I believe, based on the seat that's vacant, that's the seat that they need to fill. Just in
It is.
logic.
You'd have to basically say, we want Jim Sisson to fill the vacant
seat. So it was previously held by so-and-so.
by Michelle.
Yeah.
She was the other 2 years. Or was it
Was
just?
she did?
I think she was the 4. I think she was the 4-year.
She was the 4,
I
so
believe.
we would say he replaces Jeff,
Yeah.
and that Brandon would replace the 2-year term, or the 4 year.
Would you just confirm that and let me know, and then I'll put these before the council next week.
Yeah.
And then I'll go approve it. So we had, it was unanimous, that was our 2 board members, correct?
yes.
Okay. All right. So discussion on the committee members. I mean, we can have discussion about it, but I think maybe we should also wait for Nicole's input and also the 2 new board members' input before we do assignment to maybe committee members. What do y'all think on that?
What I'd like to see us do is, if I look back on the minutes from the last meeting, there was actually some committee members that were asked for. I'd like to get those committee members, unless somebody has a problem with it, at least in front of the council for approval, so we can get some of this stuff started.
Can we go through those?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I know all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially on economic development, well,
I agree completely.
funding is gonna be key.
Okay, so Caesar, you want to run through those real quick?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So, I guess the first one, if I look at it, this was looking at item 6 from the minutes from the last meeting. So for the parking committee, I put down Gene Holcomb, Pam Fink. I had Zach, but I'm taking him off because I think we talked that he'd be more valuable as a consultant.
Who was that?
Zach Bojan.
Oh, yeah. He could be in.
So I'm taking him off that list.
Scott.
Rachel Gray, she's from the Scenic Railroad. And I have Ruth Jordan. from Baker Theater.
Have we already talked to all these people and they're willing to serve?
I have, yes,
Rachel too?
Rachel too, with bells on. So those are the ones I have
Okay.
out there.
So I'll go ahead and submit these for approval.
For approval.
Correct?
Right.
And Gene, reconfirm, are you on the committee, are you in charge of any committee, I guess? at this
Yes,
point in time? So there's no issue with doing the committee chair versus.
You can still be on another person's committee, you just can't chair.
I think you're very well suited to do it, but I just wanted to make sure that.
He
was-
can't chair another one.
Okay, gotcha.
And Caesar, you're in charge of the parking committee, right?
At this point.
Okay. All right.
So then it looks like Nicole, I'm not quite sure how, you guys are gonna have to tell me what's going on here, because after my list, there's item 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness, so I'm not quite sure how that all goes. Jay Hamlin agreed we should be considering looking for general members. Nathan Fitz also stated we should be open to other independent contractors for parking studies. It was determined that committee members with different expertise would not require council vote for approval to provide balanced autonomy. I don't know what that's about. I thought any committee member has to be approved by the city council. Okay. And then Michelle Moran recommended Dina Chance. I don't know for what.
I thought for economic development was what she
Yeah,
had said.
that was for the economic development.
Okay. It just wasn't clear.
I don't.
So Nicole was in charge of what though?
Nicole's in charge of the arts, architecture, whatever. Her suggestions were Donald Mall.
Historical preservation. Yeah, historical.
And that's the actual name of it? Historical preservation is how we had it?
Bo Chance. And she's still looking for an architect, but those are the only two people that she has on her list.
So
Yeah, I think that's about as far as she, if I'm recalling correctly too, that's about as far as she got it. She was also giving a few, like a status update on where we were with identifying possible historic locations, ones that could be part of that list moving forward between the National Registry and the historical side, all the above, and I think that's about as far as we go.
So can we run those again though? Bo Chance, who was the other one?
Donald Mall,
Donald.
MU. Do you know him?
Uh-huh.
Is that
I don't know.
Jody's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
it's Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, who was the third one?
She's looking for an architect.
She think, yeah, she think there'd be some value to having an architect included in that.
She just didn't
She's-
name it.
She has a name, yes.
So do we want to get those two approved? Have they already been, has she already talked to them or they willing to serve?
I would imagine. Otherwise, she wouldn't have put it on her list.
I'll send an email and just double check, and so we'll get those approved. Okay, next committee?
Those are the only things that I see on here, other than the fact that I wanted to put forth Tony Bird and Johnny Searcy as associate members. And I read in here that you want to get regular committee members first. I don't understand that.
That was from our former chairman, so I just looking at it.
Because associate members, if you read Article 19, Article 9, they're just, they help every committee.
Right. I think the drive on some of that was to also, which is exactly what we've done with these folks, to make sure that, I think see if we can find a way to open the opportunity for the public to have a little more time frame to,
Yeah, we should.
to say that, hey, I really enjoy being part of this committee. I think, they could have some input, because I think, even based on our initial opinions, I think we do need to have some forum for just a general public individual would have the opportunity to request the ability to work on one of these committees.
Right, what I'm not sure of, and you guys can tell me, has there been any effort to put something out to the?
There has not, so that's why I think we still need to keep that door.
So, and we should make that outreach.
So we can go ahead and appoint these to committee members, and we can still ask.
We can add to
Right.
that, but what I think is best is to get them rolling, let's get them moving forward.
So let's just run through our committees. We got parking, historical preservation, economic development. What's our other one?
Community outreach.
I think we had 6 of them, didn't we?
There were some that were combined together.
Yeah, that's what
We did outreach and something else was combined together.
Because these are only 4. I thought we had 6. Because a couple of the
Outreach, communication, and events committee is all in one.
Already
Yes, a
included.
separate design committee, which is technically the historical committee, and economic development stands alone with Gene on
Community outreach and promotion.
Yeah, I already.
If you go back to the minutes of 424.
We combine community outreach and promotion, right?
Communication, yeah.
Yes.
Design is really what,
That's that's Nicole,
Right,
and the
that's-
historical side. So,
what we took them from, Nathan, I don't know if you remember, was this 2013 working plan from Rome,
Okay,
and it kind of outlined those committees.
so there's only 4 committees.
Yeah.
Because what I think we should do is go back to these other applicants for the DDA, because there's a couple of people who really want to be involved. I think it'd be great as,
Right.
as committee members to see if they want to join as one of these
I agree.
committees.
I mean, do you think that's something, you should possibly look, I know social media, we just gotta figure out the best forum to get that information to them.
I think social media, we can go get that, social media, maybe the newspaper.
Right,
I'll
whether it's, we don't have a website, I mean, a Facebook page up there.
It's also the only things tied to.
So we could
city
probably use
government.
the cities. And
I'll
just have
put
the
something
city-
together and send it to Kelsey.
Yeah, that
I
would be
think
great.
that would be
Just
helpful.
to, just to see if anybody's interested, and we should probably have a synopsis of each of these committees.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Do we have a synopsis of each of these committees anywhere?
We can base it off that room.
based off that 2013, we can probably put something together. Do you want me to do that? I hope you have it too.
Yeah, and speaking of, while we're talking about these committee and chair members, we need a replacement for the, as your chair member for the chairman for the DDA. And I talked to Caesar and he said that he would volunteer to do it. Unless any of you guys have any, opposition to that, I'd say we go ahead and put him as chairperson, as chairman for the DDA. You all good with that? Can I put that in a motion?
Yeah, give me 1 second, sorry, I'm a little behind on my papers. Yes. I think we-
So I'm gonna make a motion.
Actually, we need to amend the agenda to do that.
Okay.
What do you say?
Probably,
I make
probably
a
second.
motion, we amend the agenda to include the
Nomination.
nomination, for a substitute chairman in light of a previous resignation.
Replacement.
Replacement.
And I'll second. All in favor? Okay. So with that, now I can make a motion that we appoint Cesar Martinez as the chairman of the DDA board.
Second.
All in favor?
Can I vote?
No. Just didn't look pretty. Okay, so, but I guess my question is as chair and co-chair, I don't know if you can have a committee, can you?
No, we'd have to have somebody replace me on the parking.
So, we'll need to remember for next meeting, we're gonna need one of the new DDA members to be
You
the
can still have
new.
full oversight on it, any, as much as that is.
But I think I'm not really seated as chairman until it's
It's
voted on.
it's gotta be,
Yeah, well, after, that's what I have to approve with the council, next meeting you'll come in
And
as
then
chairman.
And then we have to make sure, Joseph,
Jim or,
Jim or Brandon, then it could be chairman.
which one they would rather be? One's gonna be community outreach and one's gonna be
Part-time.
parking. Stinson should probably be parking.
I would say Brandon should be
Brandon.
parking and Jim should be community outreach.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think, just because, I think based on the work,
Do you want to go ahead and make that to the city council?
Yes.
That way we get that done too, at the same time. And then, from a committee standpoint, do you want to nominate members of your committee?
yes,
Okay.
I've got some nominees. The first one is Kristen Rebel. If you all know her.
I do.
Okay. You talked to all these people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a,
Yeah, the second one is Kurt Braun.
Actually, I know Kurt pretty well. I think he's actually got a lot of valuable incentive based on, he has some direct ties with Georgia Tech. He actually runs kind of a think tank, new business startup company, so he's a business.
Innovation.
And it's a pretty neat idea, but there's a lot of resources that I think, we might be able to utilize him for, exactly.
Do you want to put him in? That way he can cross.
I think he's just gonna be a general resource no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what group we put him on, I think he's got potential to help.
I agree.
We spoke with
KUR is Kurt Ron.
He's a serial entrepreneur.
No, it's a really good way to describe it.
Eminently wealthy, and he can do all this stuff. Got plenty of connections into Georgia Tech and Emory.
But he can do he can actually populate a lot of case studies in a lot of, over a lot of different media formats that I think that we can really just utilize in getting some information to even get some of these things started. I mean, I know it sounds pretty general, but I think there's a whole lot he'd be able to bring to the
I mean,
table.
he can help the parking committee because he's got inroads into Georgia Tech and that group within Tech that does,
Sold.
yeah.
Councilman's Monday.
Tuesday.
Okay, I'll video conference it.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta be down Tuesday. I'll video conference and get approval.
Next,
This coming Tuesday. Yeah, I'll video conference and attend, so it's fine. What I was gonna ask is, are you guys available, so we don't have to have all the committee members here in case the council has any questions on any of their committee members and who they are and what they do? That you can at least
I'll be.
tell who they are and what they do? Okay, cool.
So I know we kind of got sidetracked with Kurt. Is there anybody else nomination wise?
The third is Corey Callahan from UCD. He has not given me his final okay yet, but
It'd be great.
yeah.
Do you want to put him up? If you have to do it.
If he says no before Tuesday, let me know, otherwise I'll put him on the list to be approved.
Who was the first one?
Christy Gribble.
Christie.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put a master list together of all these people, I'm gonna email all y'all, make sure it's correct, I'm gonna go ahead and present it to the council by email and just tell them these will be coming up for approval on Tuesday night.
And just going back to the minutes, Michelle recommended Dina Chance. Has anybody talked to her?
I don't know.
I know her. I have not had any communication with her whatsoever.
What does she do?
It's actually Bo's wife.
Sorry, I didn't even.
I mean, we have Bo on the committee, so I feel like we're kind of getting them as a.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. I just made that note.
Yes, yeah. And whose committee was Bo on?
That was on,
Nicole's, and Nicole's already talked to him.
evident.
Okay. I'll email and make sure. Okay, so I think we've hit the committee, committee
Do
members.
we have to make any motions or just
I don't, it's more
No.
information, yeah.
Yeah, the discussion, the only approval we have to get to the council. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to agenda item number 6, review progress on DDA joint workshop with city council.
Has there been any progress?
on that?
I know we were talking about, so we need to get in light of the last couple of months, I guess, we needed to get a little bit more of a game plan together. I think we need to tentatively set the bar we need to meet before we can schedule this. I think we're very close now that we're getting committees put together, everything to that end. But I do think we need to set some goal or some time frame by the time, so that as soon as we have enough committee members, I don't know where it falls. I'm kind of opening that
All right.
discussion, but.
My recommendation is that we get our committees together, we allow the committees to at least have a meeting to where they can decide their priorities and short, long, midterm goals. And then once we have that from each of the committees, then we sit down and present that to the city council.
And I
Make
think
sure
they
they
do.
understand that and approve that direction.
Okay, I think that's exactly what I was hoping to hear, because I think they'll be on board with that, because they said, guys, we're more than happy to meet with you, we think this is a great idea, we want to make sure y'all are ready. And that's kind of where they said, we just don't think y'all are quite there yet to really.
Right.
to-
So once I think we have a chance for our committees to meet, kind of put together their game plan, then we can shoot that and get a date for city council.
Okay. All right.
So in a perfect world, in a perfect scenario, if we were able to get at least the current members we have listed for these committees approved, possibly still maybe even hold some of those meetings before we have the full, the full.
Right, because you got to ask for people to come.
Sure, and I think that can vet a lot of that process by the current folks who expressed interest. We want to try and just set a date certain, just generally speaking, so we can say in the next 2 months, we want to be able to have completed this or something.
I would say that we say that we want to have a meeting sometime in the month of September.
So the upcoming meeting is July, and then after that, August.
Yeah.
Is a month enough time to have meetings and come up with some kind of game plan?
Well, no, what I'm suggesting is we do something maybe in late September. That should give us enough time to have people meet and come together. I would think, at least set that as the goal and.
Right, I just feel like we need to keep something in play to say,
We should be able to do that, I think.
So that gives us 2 months.
2 months to get through.
76.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable.
Just one other thing before we move on, flipping back to the previous item, Zach Woodjohn, this individual consultant on parking, can we have to speak to an associate member as well? You know, approved as an associate member.
Sure. I think there's still a question about his contract with the city, but that's not with us, correct? Is that would that be done with the parking
Be done
committee?
through the city.
Would be done through the city, okay.
And that way we just will make them all associate members if they're gonna be consultants.
75, 17.
All right. Any public comments?
Can I add, or from the last meeting, the vision and mission statements were never agreed upon? Do we know where that stands? I don't see where they were voted on. I thought it was tabled.
I think everybody gave their input. Michelle came up with the original vision statement, and then there were revisions that people submitted. So I guess we just need to.
The only revision
It's like 2 revisions.
that I thought was from Nicole, where she wanted to add artistic and cultural endeavors and after dining and shopping on the vision statement.
And Nathan changed, we changed stakeholders to other citizens, I think, in one of the first reports. Yeah, but I think there were 2 revisions, so I think we should have that set as an agenda item for our
For the
next.
next
Yeah,
one.
just to approve the changes. Honestly, I'm comfortable at this point in time. I mean, with the 2, that was everything that came up on that last meeting.
Can we just vote
If you
to
want to
make,
amend,
to
if you
do
want to
that?
amend the agenda and just vote to get that done, I'm
Yeah,
okay
I'd like
with that, too.
to make a motion to approve the mission and vision statements with the changes.
Let's amend the agenda first in order to do it, and then you can make a motion to do it.
Thank you.
So I'll make the motion that we amend the agenda to include an item to approve our mission statement for the DDA. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, now Caesar.
Before I do that, where was your recommendation? Where?
It was on the previous minutes from 5-6.
No, in what, the mission statement or the vision statement? I know on the vision statement, it was Nicole who wanted to change something, but I forgot which one Nathan wanted to change.
It was on the mission statement, I believe.
It was the mission, the very last word of the mission statement. It includes other stakeholders. Nathan made the recommendation to
Change it?
modify that and change it to, I think, other citizens, if I'm recalling correctly.
I just didn't like the word stakeholders.
Yeah.
I think y'all agreed. I think we're just changing the word.
So citizens?
Other citizens, instead of other stakeholders.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion that we approve the mission statement to include the last sentence where it says, "and other stakeholders," changed to "other citizens," and that the vision statement is changed to where after it says world-class dining and shopping, we add artistic and cultural endeavors.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
So that can be presented to the council.
Okay. And as future chairman, do you want to send me that final verbiage of
I'll
that?
be happy to.
Okay, and I'll get it approved for you. Okay, no other public comments? All good? All right, do you, next is adjournment. I have a motion to, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
All in favor?